Alright, I guess the first thing, install the Blender GIS plugin. Go to Preferences, and what you have to do to allow elevation to work, because it'll give you an error, you have to get a API key from opentopography.com. You make a free account and request the API key, and it gives you one right away. What you're going to have to do is edit the elevation, which is in the add-ons, like Blender GIS preferences is how you get to it. You're going to edit the 30. Now, what you're going to add is at the very end, after you see GTIF, put at or and, whatever that hell that is. What is that then symbol? API key equals, and then you put your key that you were given and hit OK. Also put the key here. That should be all you have to do. Now, to start Blender GIS, you just go to Web, just say base map, or go use Google, and this is basically where you can zoom in, and each time you zoom in, it'll have to re-download the tiles, depending on how much you zoom in. These only, like, it don't take long for each zoom. But if you were to tell it to give you the detail level from like the maximum zoom, it's like 21 or 22, at a distance from here, well, you can forget it. You'll never get that texture. Basically, is a large texture. I want to find a track. Somebody asked a while back on YouTube, asked about a particular track, and I forgot the name of it. Let's go back through here, find the comment, because I forgot the name of the place. Find it. I don't remember the video that it was on, the comment was on, or I just go pull up that video. Yeah, I'm not going to find it. So I'll just have to pick another place. I remember it was in England, but I don't remember exactly where it was. So hit G on your keyboard and pick a city. Let's say, I don't know, Hampton, Georgia. It's where the home of the Atlanta Motor Speedway. That is not Hampton, Georgia. I don't know where the hell that is. Maybe there's another Hampton. Alright, let's try. There it is, the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Now the most you can zoom in is like 21, sometimes 22, sometimes not even 21. If there is no satellite data for that zoom level, there's nothing that is going to load. See, that's blown out. That's not actually well, old Rudy's back. What's up, Rudy? So I'm going to zoom out until I see the entire track on the map. And that's good. Now I'm going to hit L to lock. Now using the mouse wheel, I'll tell it to do 20 zoom, which is going to have to download more tiles. And if you did like, if you zoomed out a long way, if you were far back and you told it to get the ground level from far away at 20 zoom, and you'd have like a gigabyte texture. So it's not ideal to make, it's not ideal to use these for texture maps. I think 832, I think it's 833, whatever the resolution. That was like the large, after I shrunk it down, it was like 30,000 something resolution, but I shrunk it down to 16K, and it was still a hell of a large file. I'll say that was like 200 megs. Yeah. Oh, you saw your comment on the screen. I was like, where are you? Oh, you look in the infinity thing where it shows like an infinite loop. Like this thing here. You see it like infinitely echoing into the background after a while. That's weird how that does that. If you ever have a video camera that is doing this in a mirror or something where you can swipe your hand across the screen, it's really weird to watch it because there's a delay, and it's like you see your hand swipe, 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 like swipes forever. You gotta wonder how long the damn, I guess it go on forever. Kind of like time travel in a way, I guess. I don't know. Alright, so once you do this, you're going to hit E on the keyboard, and that's going to basically say, this is what I want. Alright, I'm hitting E. I thought it was E. Hell, maybe it's F, maybe it's R. I was hitting all three of them. Hell. Now what did I do? I didn't mean to get this damn thing crooked. Alright, so that's a pretty detailed texture. Well, it's a pretty large texture too. But if you're going to make a track and you want to have the proper elevation, then that's when you have to go into get elevation and hit OK. If you don't get an error, and that means you filled out the API key and you did that correct. And you know it's working if you see that it's taking a while. And that'll be it's supposed to be the, that can't be right. That can't be right. I don't believe that's the elevation data for this. I don't think the Atlanta Motor Speedway's got them hills in it, does it? I don't know, that's kind of crazy looking. That don't look right to me. Now Stone Mountain did right. I don't know, but this don't look right. Something's off. Unless I'm off. I don't remember having heels. I thought it was pretty much flat. We're just going to use the flat one. Alright, now I'll show you how you can make a track for it. Well, I showed you in the other video, that other video, so you do the same thing in here. Just add a mesh plane. You get 7 for top-down view. Move this. There's that. I guess that's the track there. Now I'm going to put a texture on it. I call it track 1 since I already have a texture for track 1. Now I should only have to go to array, and the more count, the more the array count, the longer the segment of track will be. But what we got to do now is go to the top view and actually draw a path for the track. Object, add curve path. I put it in the middle, so we'll zoom in. Now I want to rotate it so that it is facing the same direction as the track is right here. In edit mode, I'll hit R and then just kind of rotate that like that. Now holding shift down and pushing in the mouse wheel, it'll move you around like that. So I'm going to pick this node, and I'm going to hit E to extract. And what these orange bars will do is they'll basically bend the curve wherever it needs to bend at. They got these little handlebars you can move. Don't worry if it ain't perfect, you can adjust it afterwards. I'm just trying to get the thing. All the way around it. Oh, damn it. If you messed up, you can hit Control Z to backspace also. But just keep hitting E, get around the whole track. And make sure you stay in the top view, or that line can be going, it'll start going up and down. I hope this works. It worked in the previous video. You can also turn on snap if you want to snap to the grid. Oh, there's the road there. Oh, we have still got to go back around to where the loop is, or to where this path started. Now all I should have to do is in object mode is attach this to the curve by adding a curve and picking that path. Something is damn off. So that ain't the path I drew. It's a matter of hitting G on the keyboard and then moving it. Sometimes you have to move it or scale it. Can't tell if that's lined up or not. Guess it's close enough. Now, if you had done the, elevation data, but I just don't think that was right for this thing. I mean, shit, maybe it is. Maybe where those hills are is where, like, the banks are. I didn't even think about that. I only I saw one race here one time and didn't even stay the whole time. It was boring for me watching it. So you can adjust the array count. You go, leave these on for now. We go to a top view and pick the curve now that you were making a little while ago. Now in edit mode, once you pick it, you can adjust these. Wait a minute. Well, not sure why the road ain't following it. Oh, wait a minute. That's the damn texture I'm looking at. Looking at the... I'm like, what the hell? I'm clicking on this shit. What the hell's going on? It's because this damn is underground. Alright, so like I was saying, pick the curve and you go to edit mode, and as you move these, it should move the road. I was just confused by the texture. See how you can adjust it. Here you can pick the nodes, and you can go, if you don't have this open here, you just hit that little arrow, go to item and tilt, and that's how you do your banks. One way bends one way bends the other way. I realized I did not make this track to scale. Like, it's not the right size for the map. Just kind of eyeballed it. So what I did is applied a shrink wrap. Had your terrain had hills and whatnot in it, it would contour to those hills and everything. Now we apply the shrink wrap, and I'll go back to what I was doing with these banks, because I realized as I was turning the banks, I was like, damn, the road ain't even on the road. And we gotta move this up. I'm not sure what the hell, how that happened. Yeah, see, I did the damn thing's probably twice the width that I made it. I'll try to scale it after I'm done. Try to fix it. Alright, so I got more road than I need. So that's where I'll change the array count. Wait a minute. Half of that must be... This damn clipping is messing with me here. I'm still not sure how that ended up being a different size than that one, but it looks like it's folded back over. Well, I'll fix it later. Alright, let me just apply. I haven't tried to shrink wrap after I've done a bank. The other tracks are in the air that I was messing with, so I'm not sure if I shrink wrap it down, it's probably going to lose. Well, I know it's going to lose those banks. It's just going to lay it flat onto the track. But normally the terrain, use the elevation data, it's supposed to be the correct terrain, so laying something flat on the track is what you want anyway. But in this case we have a flat map, and getting it to look right, it's not as simple as had the map had the curves and stuff in it. So I don't think I can change the bank now after the fact, not to edit. I'm just going to delete the curve. Turn on proportion editing. Rotate. Forgot to subdivide the damn track. That's why I can't remember everything. So like I make these every day. These tracks, that is. That ain't like it's ain't doing anything. Well, for the hell with it. I'm gonna spend all day fooling with it. Now, if you want to use this for a texture or whatnot, you'd have to go into the texture and undo this and tell it to write file to current directory. Get that location, copy it to your clipboard, go into your photo editor and import in that TIFF file that you see here, Google Satellite. This one here. Bring it into your photo editor, and you're going to want to resave that as a PNG, and you're going to want to scale it down some. It's 10,000 by 7,000. I mean, you can use that if you want to use it that way. Just need to export it as a PNG. Now I'm going to put this in the level that I was working on earlier, small grid, in the art track 1, and that's where I'm going to name this. Let's see. This track 3. PNG. While that's taking forever to do that, I'm going to go into the level that I was just talking about on small grid. Track 1, that's where these are going. So I have to edit the main dot materials and just make a new texture. So I'll copy this texture to the clipboard, hit enter, hit bracket, hit comma. I don't know if you can see that, but it's one of those kind of brackets. Then once you put the bracket there, you can paste. And this is the texture I said we're about to make. So this here, track 3, is whatever you named your texture in Blender. Maybe you named it something else. Oh, I didn't name it in here yet. So this is where I'll put track 3. See, this is for the land map here. I'll just put land. And the that's the road. So I named that track 1. Oh, let's see, track 3. I should have put land. That'd have been a better name for the texture. Alright, we don't need the light, we don't need the camera, we don't need that anymore. Alright, let's see, now we gotta I'm thinking there was another step. If you had the elevation data added, you would have to add you had to apply the 2 modifiers, DEM and DEM.001 would have been in here, but since it's flat, they're not in here. So we'll export this. We can join the track to it. But if you combine them like this, you need to take the UV map so you can get to that. It's here. The little green triangle, UV maps. Copy this to the clipboard, go to the other texture for the other object, and paste. That way when you join the two, they'll not screw up each other's textures. And we'll just export the whole thing as a DAE. What the hell am I waiting on? Did it lock up on me? What the hell? Visible mesh final and rebuild collisions. Control F7. I don't know. It seems like that's not rebuilding collisions. I have to manually tell it rebuild collisions. Man, that's the world's ugliest. I can't look at that car. That's an ugly spoiler there. I don't know what dummy made that, but it sure is ugly. The thing about Blender GIS, you know, if you are going to make a track based on a real location, that it is the right scale. The elevation data is what's in question, because I just don't think that Atlanta Motor Speedway had them hills in it. But see, you'd want your track to be perfectly flat. You know, if you're gonna make a track, you wouldn't want to be off the track. Also, you might see how it is not perfectly smooth. That was because I did not subdivide the when I first started making the track, we had that little bitty square. It wasn't subdivided enough. Actually, I forgot to subdivide it. Yeah, I don't play this very much. I spend all my time in the editor pretty much, but you can see how that's the right scale. Now, if you wanted to... No, I did not. How did I do that? I just hit a key. I just accidentally hit something when I was... damn it. I don't know how that... I never entered the thing in safe mode before. I don't know how I did it. The terrain block. I'll say if you're going to use the terrain to replace all this, well, you're going to need a lot bigger terrain than that. Oh, wait a minute. I was thinking that little hill was all there was. No, that'll be enough, I think. Yeah,
Damn, that's a big map. I don't even know what size that map is. I think I made them. No telling. Alright, rebuild collisions. Now what should happen, you go to your terrain tools, tell it align with mesh up, and it should bring the mesh flush to the bottom of this mesh. Yeah, see, it brought it right up to the bottom like I thought. Or you can align down. No, don't align down. I forget why it does that, but it's got some crazy behavior sometimes. Just line up the mesh, make the size smaller or larger depending on the area that you want to do. But basically, you replace the mesh with the terrain block is what you're basically doing. That way you can use the grounds terrain paints instead of using this large picture. Now I know one time I did change the terrain paint of the to actually be, you know, the image, but I don't remember how I did that or if it worked. I mean, I know it worked, I just can't remember the exact things. Let me see. See, I'm using PB. I'm not using PBR, I'm using 1.0. So I'll try to replace that diffuse with the this big map texture. Let's see, track 3.png. Size. We either waiting or we locked up. Alright, let me zoom out and see what we got here. Yeah, I'm not sure if I remember how to do this. Well, we'll see. Damn terrain block, something's wrong. That damn block, I don't know why that block's like, what the hell did I do when I made it? Alright, the mesh is the correct scale. So that's just a matter of getting the terrain paint to correct scale. So, it's going to be less than that, maybe. That shit ain't even the right aspect ratio. For that to work, damn. For that to work, you would have to, for it to line up and be the right thing, you'd have to had made the damn, I don't remember. I don't remember. But you see, it'd be great if you could do that. And I know I did it one time. But like I said, I don't remember exactly what I did. But it'd be better to have a terrain paint instead of a big mesh. Because when you have terrain paints, you can add ground cover, like the regular grass, like the game uses. But now you can always put trees with the forest tool on a mesh. It don't have to be on a terrain block. So I think that's pretty much it for this. Can't think of anything else. I'll import in the other object that I made. So this is not the track that goes on this, but I did this one a little different. I put these little white things on the side. But yeah, so someone asked about this. Like I said, I ain't done enough of these that like I'm really at the point where I can like feel like I can say, hey, this is how you do it. But I don't remember everything. It's been a while. Like I said, for a while, like I couldn't even get into the elevation server. So, let me delete this. Alright, so this is Sheffield. So depending on how large you want the map, and then how detailed you want the map, you find the distance that you want to be away from it and hit L to lock, and then roll your mouse wheel to download the higher quality image, or roll the mouse wheel another time to get an even larger map. And like I said, sometimes Zoom 21 or 22 ain't available. There ain't satellite data for whatever reason. You'll see little icons of all these little cameras that say basically there's no data. Once it's done building the mosaic, you hit E on the keyboard. It's supposed to be E. And to get the elevation, pick 30. And it's saying that is the elevation for that. I don't live there. I couldn't tell you. I wouldn't know. But the reason that terrain paint didn't work is because this is not perfectly square. It's not a 1-to-1 ratio. The terrain map, the terrain grid is 1-to-1 ratio. So for this to actually work, I'd have to do everything that I'm going to do in GIS, and then make sure I cut off the section that of the mesh so that it is 1-to-1. Then it's not a problem lining up the texture on the terrain paint. I'm not even going to fool with putting the road in here. Just see if this works. So once you have a elevation, then you have to go into here, apply the DEM, and then apply the DEM .001. Now you can go to the top view, edit mode, I just made a cube just so that move it to know how much to cut off. That's not damn right. How in the hell that happened?